Good evening. As mentioned before, I work for a child welfare agency, a preventive service program where we do functional family therapy with our families. As mentioned before, our agency, stopped doing home visit due to the pandemic in March. We recently resumed our home visits in August with our families, and we had to speak to our families in regards to how they feel about us conducting home visits. Due to the COVID-19, we know most of our families have underlying health conditions, and we wanted to give them the option of the home visits or not. ACS was asking us to do one visit per month with the families. Spoke to a lot of the families, and some decided against it, but some families was okay with it. And the families that was okay with it, we had to have a conversation on what these visits would look like, and just making sure who was included in the family compositions and what precautions they were taking in order to keep themselves safe. Just because I'm going into the family, I have underlying health conditions as well, and what that would look like. Speaking to the families on how frequent they're in and out of the homes, if they were wearing their mask, if they were in contact with people that was diagnosed with COVID-19. Having these conversations was important because just for me personally, I have underlying health conditions, so I wanted to ensure to keep myself safe. My field instructor made sure that she had a conversation with me on how to engage the family in these conversations, not only because I suffer from health conditions. Of course, I have to come home to my family as well, but what are they doing to keep themselves safe? Ensuring that they have the proper PPE. One of the things that we did was we made sure that the families that were frequently in and out of the home, that had to go out, that were working, that had children that, were going out due to babysitting, family still had to work, that we were providing them with gloves, masks, sanitizing products and stuff like that. So the families that I did go to visit, one of the issues I was having with my families was the children, because there were so many young children and they were used to, having contact with me, giving high fives, giving hugs and stuff like that. They had a very hard time with keeping their distance. And what I had to do was have a conversation with families in advance with the kids, just letting them know, right now, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, COVID, we all want to keep ourselves safe. I want to keep you guys safe. I want to keep myself safe to ensure that everyone stays healthy. So just having these conversations with the families was very important. And at the end of the day, they did understand the reason why we were doing it, to keep everyone safe. And even speaking to the families in regards to when the kids were going out to do, they were going out into the community just to play in the park, or they started going on their doctor's visits. Some therapy offices started opening, just having the conversations with the families in regards to keeping their distance, making sure that they weren't touching their faces, their nose, sanitizing very often, keeping their mask on, and stuff like that. So one of the questions I had was to the group, that is, how did you guys feel these conversations went with your families, the families that you guys had to stay in contact with? How did it work with speaking to families in regards to keeping themselves safe in the community? Were they creative in speaking to their children? Because I find children have a very hard time understanding, this whole COVID-19, the pandemic, and, the importance of, making sure that they sanitize and keep their distance, keep their mask on when they're in contact with people. how you guys conducted these conversations with the children, because I find that the most difficult when working with families. I speak to the parents about it, but sometimes I don't think they really even talk to their kids about it. I try to have these conversations, but I was just looking at more creative ways that we could engage our children, a better way just to keep themselves safe through this whole pandemic. Thank you.